What's going on, everybody? We're doing a quick video, my fantasy football week 1 rankings for the 2021 season. Kickoff is here. Football season is here. I'm thinking the most accurate predictions, or the predictions we're going to make with the most confidence this week, is going to be with the running back position, defense, and maybe kicker. I think there's going to be a lot of crazy quarterback play that's going to shock us. Tight ends are always difficult to predict, and wide receivers are somewhat difficult to predict because they're so volatile from week to week. But let's see what we can do. These are in PPR format, but if you play half PPR, it's virtually the exact same, and non-PPR is very similar as well. So as far as quarterbacks, we always got to have Mahomes number 1. I'm going with Lamar at number 2 just because I think he's angry and just wants to put the team on his back, and probably going to be rushing the ball a lot and doing a lot. The team's going to rely heavily on Lamar Jackson now that Gus Bus is out. Look, they lost Mark Ingram from last year. They lost Justice Hill, they lost J.K. Dobbins, and now they lose Gus Bus. All the running backs from last year are gone. All of them. All of them. And it's pretty, to lose 4 running backs just during the offseason, I don't know if that's ever happened before. I don't know if that's ever happened. I mean, I guess the Falcons, but they lost them, and the Falcons really lost their running backs because of poor performance. But this is, all because of injury, basically, other than Mark Ingram. Raiders, great matchup there. I think this Kyler Murray, this Cardinals Titans game is going to be a huge shootout, so I like Tannehill even there. Kyler Murray. I like all the players in this game. I like to move. I try to move Tannehill up even more if I can, but I think these guys are just such big studs. Like, I already have Rodgers so low, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tannehill sneaks into a top 6 quarterback. I just can't rank him much higher. And now with Russell Wilson, why he's so high is because the Colts might be a little bit banged up. I mean, they're really banged up, but it could be banged up in the secondary, leaving some crazy mismatches that DK Metcalf could exploit, Russell Wilson could exploit. And there's just so much upside with Russell Wilson. Could even be the QB1 potentially. He's just one of those quarterbacks that's like, okay, misfiring, then all of a sudden in fourth quarter, just all of a sudden just goes off. And excuse me, I got Jalen Hurts up high as well, just because of the upside. We don't know his floor, but we know the upside with Tom against the Falcons. With Tom Brady, I'm thinking he'll get 3 touchdowns in the first half, then the Bucks will just run the ball, so I have him ranked much lower. And yeah, after that, we're going to see, it's going to be very messy. All these are going to be wrong. We're going to see Stafford in a Rams uniform. We're going to see Baker Mayfield. The first time this season, maybe he's going to throw a lot more. And against this matchup, against the Chiefs, we know you have to throw the ball to beat the Chiefs. You got to put up points to beat the Chiefs. And Kirk Cousins, another guy who can finish top 8 this week, because going against the Bengals, if the Bengals can score some points, we could see a sneaky shootout here. Bengals defense could be the worst defense this week, or bottom 3 or bottom 5. That's how bad it could be. And it's going to be all Justin Jefferson, all Adam Thielen, of course Dalvin Cook. But those two should both have plus matchups. I think both wide receivers can go off. Both could get 100 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, that is. We know Jimmy G is the starter. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty deep right there. But yeah, we have guys ranked like number 32 and stuff that could do way better. I just think with Andy Dalton here, that a lot of us are thinking that Justin Fields has a realistic shot of coming in during week 1 and taking over. So with that threat there, we just can't rank Andy Dalton too much higher. Moving on to the next position, running backs. A little bit easier to predict here. Just some absolute studs. I'm a huge Antonio Gibson fan. That's why I'm ranking him so high. Let's just talk about the most important matchups and players, or at least what I think people want to hear. James Robinson in a plus matchup against the Texans. He's got to be top 10. I think Saquon Barkley's absolutely going to go off this week, but temper expectations in his first week. Very risky start, but I'm telling everyone to start him, right? You don't draft Saquon Barkley and then he suits up and then you bench him. That's just silly. I mean, the only reason you would bench Saquon Barkley is if you're in a 4-team league or something crazy like that. Like, you're starting Saquon Barkley. That's why you drafted him. He suits up. You start him. And even though I like him a lot and I'm ranking him 6 spots ahead of the consensus, that's this number right here, we still have to be concerned. Like, the Giants, they might suck, and Broncos D might be good, and Saquon Barkley's probably going to be on some kind of snap count. Let's just say 18 touches would be his max cap for week 1. That's a pretty big workload for a guy coming off such a significant injury. So I do recognize the risk. I'm still one of the big Saquon Barkley truthers out there. Zeke, you still start him. He just has that high floor. I think he's gonna do. I don't know, man. Should we move him down? That's a tough matchup. Let's do it. Let's move Mixon up 1 spot. And let's move Mixon up another spot. There we go. Let's do that. Let's put Mixon in the top 8. Hey, we can change it on this show. It's all good. We can change things. We can make it happen. Nyheim Hines should be heavily featured, or at least not heavily featured. He should have a significant role in this offense. And if the Colts are behind, that could be a Nyheim Hines type of game. So Jonathan Taylor might be reliant on how he does in the first half, heavily reliant on the game script, and pretty reliant on touchdowns. That's why I have him ranked so low. He's one of my favorite players to draft in best ball, so I'm not trying to hate on him. And let's talk about the Ravens. I have Tyson Williams ranked very high. I don't know how this backfield is going to pan out. I'm expecting Le'Veon Bell to be the RB2, Devontae Freeman to be the RB3, and Trent Cannon is his name, probably more of a special teamer, not too much involved in as far as running back play on offense. But this is week 1 plus matchup. Tyson Williams should be the clear-cut starter, so I have him ranked super high. He should get a lot of work, should get some touchdowns too, at least 1, if Lamar Jackson doesn't vulture him every time. And I really like him. Let's see what happens after week 1. Le'Veon Bell, brand new signing there, so he's brand new to the team. Kickoff is in basically hours, like it's not even days now. For the Ravens. And so I think Tyson Williams is going to get almost all the work at running back. Devontae Freeman and Le'Veon Bell, I believe, will both be active that game. Just in case something happens again to a running back, you're going to want some depth. You want them suited up at least. So you have a running back out there. But I do have him ranked RB20. That's probably very extreme, very bullish on him. But I think the matchup is so dang good, I would start him. I'm also telling a lot of people to start Kareem Hunt in a game script where he might be used a lot in the second half. Where do I have Austin? I have Austin Eckler ranked really low, mostly because of the hamstring injury. It seems minor, but we don't know. Also, a huge chance, like the chance is tremendously increased now that he's going to re-injure this hamstring, which is the same injury he suffered last year. And honestly, I don't know if it's the same leg, the same hamstring. Let me know. Leave a comment. Do research. Help me out on this one. Is it the same leg? I know it was a hamstring injury last year that sidelined him. So it's just very concerning. Even if the team says it's extremely minor, we expect him to be ready for week 1, which is kind of what they're saying. I don't believe it exactly. And, you know, we've seen this before where right away they re-injure, they re-aggravate that same injury. So there's always a chance that they're precautious and sit him week 1, or he re-injures his hamstring. I just don't think it's that major. He was out there at practice with a helmet, with pads on, or ready to go. I don't know if they were wearing pads, but he was fully suited up, ready to go. But he did not practice at all. He was on the sideline, so it shows that they're holding him out as a precaution. But we don't know. It's all speculation, like I said. And if he's 100% ready to go from what we hear, he can re-injure that hamstring. So there's just a lot of worry here. And I'm not going to rank a guy high if he can actually not even suit up. He might be a scratch week 1. And I got Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel ranked pretty high, I think. It's kind of similar to the Ravens backfield in a way where I'm thinking Sony Michel's going to take over that backfield, or at least get like 51% of the fantasy points, get 51% of the work, something like that. But not week 1, maybe. I don't know. He had enough time to learn and be acclimated with the offense and his teammates. We'll see how he does. But eventually, I'm going to move Sony Michel ahead of Darrell Henderson. I'm going to start doing that. Could be as soon as week 2. Let's see what we see this first week for the Rams. Moving on to wide receiver. It's going to be very difficult to predict. Right away, we see I ranked Devontae Adams low. It's not that I hate Adams. It's just I like these 4 guys a lot this week. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Steelers? Might have to swap them. Might have to swap these 2. Okay. Just like this. All right, here we go. Yeah, we already went over DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson's the cornerback that's going to be covering Justin Jefferson's not going to be good at all. Bengals defense is just it's falling apart. It fell apart and it's fallen apart even more. It's looking pretty bad for them. What else is interesting here? Oh yeah, I think the Titans they could throw the ball a good amount against the Cardinals. Adam Thielen, much safer start, much higher floor. But Odell Beckham has an extremely high ceiling where he can maybe even sneak into like top 8 wide receiver this week against the Chiefs. Then again, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not even top 24. He's a very boom or bust, very risky receiver, but going against the Chiefs, and I'm hearing he's looking healthy, he's looking good. We'll leave it at that. Jamar Chase is pretty worrisome. Let's put him. I'd rather start Corey Davis over Jamar Chase. But I'm not. I dislike Chase in redraft, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not hating as much as some people are. Yeah, Traquan Smith didn't practice again today. I don't know why. We have to rank him a little bit lower. Let's put Robbie Anderson a bit higher. He's very low. Robbie Anderson's very low on here. And let's put... I don't know what's going on with Traquan Smith. Let's put him much lower. Oh, yeah, that's the big one here. Okay, so I need to move these 2 guys up here. Let's move Devontae Smith. I'm starting him. I'm starting Devontae Smith. My algorithms and all my tools are saying to bench him. I gotta pull rank here. I gotta go with my gut and saying against the Falcons, he could just absolutely go insane. I like him right around here. Yes, I just moved him up a ton of spots. And then Marquez Callaway could be shadowed by Jair Alexander. Might be a bad day for Callaway, but I still respect the upside. So let's move him up at least a few more spots. right here. I got to have him ahead of Hollywood. And we can move Juju up a couple spots. All right. That's looking great, guys. That's looking awesome. Traquan Smith, I don't know what's up with you, but I don't trust you. How much lower can we move this guy? Yeah. Looks like I should have ranked these a little bit better. Let's move Curtis Samuel down because he's hurt. We'll see if he's going to get healthy. And Jamison Crowder might miss week 1. So, yep. And then Rondell Moore will move down. Okay, that's looking much better right now. Moving on, tight ends. This I'm probably not going to touch. Yeah, tight end roulette. Very tough to predict. Kyle Pitts could be a target monster this year. Hawkinson, I love him, but maybe temper expectations this week. Tyler Higbee could be a sneaky start. I have him ranked high. And yeah, my number 1 is Kelsey. Number 2 is Waller. Number 3 is Kittle. I just added Croft. Where is Croft? 55. Let's move him up. Just remembered I did that. Tyler Croft, very sneaky. Let's move him. Let's move him up a good amount. We gotta move Tyler Croft up a good amount. There we go. He could be top 20 this week. We'll see. Could be top 20. Moving on to defenses. The Broncos could be the top scoring defense this week. How about that? Great streaming option. Great draft pick in the last round. Seahawks have a ton of upside. No floor, though. I have no confidence in the Seahawks D, but if the Colts are a mess and they're all hurt and stuff, this team could unravel. You got 1 or 2 strengths with the Colts and you got a good team, but it just might unravel here and the Seahawks defense could feast. So a lot of upside with the Seahawks D, but not a good floor for them. Though, you know what? I really love the Ravens D. Let's move them up. There we go. I love the Ravens defense. So these 3 I love all 3 of these. Rams, Niners, and Ravens. Just absolutely love them. I could rank the Ravens number 1 easily, but hey, we got Dalton starting. I don't know how this Bears O-line is going to look week 1, and that could be very scary. All 3 of these matchups could be very scary for the Bears offense, Lions offense, and Raiders offense. And for kickers, I love Robbie Gould this week. Robbie Gould, very good kicker this week. Of course, Tucker and Buckers at the top. If you're looking for streaming options, kickers that are available, we got McManus. We got Quinn Norton, rookie kicker on the Patriots. I think people are a little bit too harsh on him because he had a terrible week 2 preseason game, but he did bounce back nicely the following week. So I'm going to chalk that up as more of a anomaly and a fluke game. And then we got Josh Lambo, who's available in almost every league. Also Evan McPherson, not the best week 1 start, but if he does good week 1, this is the kicker you might want to have for life. Have him in Dynasty. I don't know one plays kickers in Dynasty, but hey, that was a funny joke. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to the second YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch Podcast. These written rankings will be up on my website, fantasycouch.com. So do check them out. I do update them periodically. Smash that thumbs up. Good luck this week. Let's go get that W, baby.